And good morning, Warrior Nation. Good morning, everybody out there. Hey, welcome to the fall break edition of K-Bell Game Day, also known the Friday morning coaches show. Not Friday, it's actually Thursday. So just running a little late, but hopefully you don't mind. And we have Coach Kincaid here in the studio. And, hey, welcome aboard. And Warriors looking to make it 3 in a row this morning or this evening as we host the Locust Grove Pirates. And first of all, I want to shout out the 7th grade team. Made it to the middle school game Monday, and they picked up a nice win over Durant, 22-0. And seems like it took them a half to wake up, but when they woke up, they scored a few times and punched it in the end zone and, kept the shutout going on defense. You have anything to talk about with your 7th grade team?
Yeah, 7th grade played really well, man. Those are a lot of young guys there, and they're growing and experiencing the growth that we've seen from start of the school year to now. I mean, it's been tremendous. I love the growth that we've seen in our 7th and 8th graders. That's what we told them. We really love to see the individual development between those guys, and they've grown up a lot. And I'm excited that they're picking up some wins along the way.
Right, because I know with middle school, it's more about development of your skills and things like that, not just wins and losses. But, hey, seeing yourself on the right side of the scoreboard is great. Not sure what happened with the 8th grade. They took a loss to Durant 24-6. I did like that reverse that y'all ran for the touchdown. Who was that scored that one?
That was Joey.
Yeah, Joey Deaver.
Yeah.
That was a nice thing you pulled out of the playbook. But, Durant took advantage of some miscues and, did what they should have. They scored, and that's pretty much all you can chalk that up to. Now, when do y'all play again?
We may play at Horatio the 28th. That'll be the last game of the year. Horatio sometimes doesn't field a team here or there, so I have to get in contact with their coaches to find out if we'll be playing that game or not. JV will be in action Monday versus Kingston here at 6 o'clock.
Monday against Kingston at 6 o'clock. Noted. Okay. Now, going back to last week's win in Muldrow. Man, going to the ground and pound attack worked, man. Y'all rushed for 225 yards as a team. It was spread out between McCollum Dixon, Jay-Sean Dixon, Quincy Pond, and Titus Baker. He came in and closed things out at the end of the game, sprinkling some runs from Jordan Lewis. Is that something that, you're going to use moving forward?
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, we got a lot of guys on the team that can carry the ball. You've seen Benny Matitwa carry it quite a bit. We got a lot of guys that are just good with the ball in their hands, and we want to get the guys, who are good with the ball in their hands, get them the ball. Yeah,
that's the name of the game. Get the ball to your playmakers and let them do what they do. Also, you spread the wealth in the passing game. You have 4 different players catch passes. Benny's going to find his way into the end zone, 4 catches for 87 yards. Val had a couple of nice catches, 2 catches for 49 yards. Both of them went for Idabel first downs. Jordan Lewis caught a couple of passes. Titus Baker caught one from the tight end spot. It seems like the tight end spot is a forgotten position in spread football. But, it's always good to find the middle of the field, and he's right there. But defenses just can't key in on a Benny or a Jordan, right? And then also I made note, offensive line. I like what they're doing. They're staying healthy and able to block and protect as this season keeps progressing forward. I made note. I like the play of young Aiden Medina. I want to talk about him real quick. Really physical and, gets his blocks going. And then switching over to the defense, you got a couple of takeaways last week. Always good to win that turnover battle. Did you get a chance to talk with Crew as far as getting that interception, nearly housing it? And you never know. He may have a chance to take him into the house again before the season's up.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I talked to him about it. He was talking about one of his teammates not picking up a block for him, and I told him even if they did pick up the block, would you have ran the extra 6 yards to get in there, man, and would you have been fast enough? But joking around with Crew there, man, I love that kid to death, man. He's a great kid, and he's a smart, great football player, man, and I'm glad that he's healthy again and back and helping our program.
Absolutely. It seems like this time of year, staying healthy is the name of the game, because if you stay healthy, you keep everybody, playing and everything like that. It just stand better chances of winning. You got some other teams with their star players down. Example, Shakota, their running backs down. Mojo, Tegan Collins, he wasn't at 100%, but he still gutted through. So it's survival in a district like ours. So getting into this week, playing on the short week. When did you start preparing for Locust Grove?
So we came out. We brought the kids out Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon for a quick little walk through an alignment period and some conditioning. We just had them come out and just line up to their formations, line up our offensive formations to their defensive formations, and just let them see it a little bit earlier in the week, get a little mental day in there, get a little conditioning, and then we just approached it the rest of the day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just hit it pretty hard. Wednesday we were off a little light, but we took preparation time to make sure that they were prepared to get going today.
Okay, what are your thoughts on Locust Grove? I know we talked about them a little bit off air back on Monday. Relatively young, they're rebuilding, but they're over the season, but they're no slouch. You can't overlook them. What are your thoughts on Locust Grove on film?
Absolutely, definitely not overlooking them. They are a young team. I believe on their roster they have 7 seniors, but I talked to the coach. He's gotten rid of a few bad apples that have been around. So not as many seniors over there for them. They're really a really young team, but like you said, they play hard. And there's a couple kids that are explosive that can make a few plays. There are a couple kids on defense that just fly around and stick their nose in there and make tackles. So we have to execute on all 3 phases of the football game, offense, defense, special teams, to make sure that we don't get beat tonight.
Right. Looking at them offensively, they're out of the spread. They usually have a single running back. They also have a tight end. 3 receivers, they either run up in trips or they'll run the 2x1, 2 to the left, 1 to the right, or 2 to the right, 1 to the left, whatever, the play calls for. Quarterback's not a bad athlete, can throw the ball. It seems like they do like taking that deep shot downfield. And they connected. I watched them connect against Eufaula, and that was their score. Well, they got, I think first and goal, and then the running back punched in, if memory serves correct. But decent size up front, and should have made for a good battle up front with Chris and Zion and your guys up front. Raymond Graves had a pretty good game last week, and definitely got to watch out for those deep shots, and then the running back Torres, he'll try and bounce it outside. Do they have a kicker? Because it looked like the one time they scored, they went a swinging gate formation, and they went for 2 and didn't get it.
Yeah, they went to swinging gate. From what I've seen on them, I haven't seen them kick any field goals yet or PATs, but we're prepared for anything. We've been prepared for the swinging gate. We've threw it out there in regular team defense, and we've special period. We've done a little bit of it all. Just making sure we're prepared for anything and everything tonight.
All right, and then defensively, 3-4 base.
Yeah, I'm 3-4, mock 4-2-5 with a stand-up guy off the edge. They're a little tricky how they line up. They line up always one high for the most part. Their safety rolls down to kind of medium stack behind the outside linebacker, where they're almost 3-over-2 to one side of it. But then again, I've seen them in quad. They've lined up to quads 2-over-4. So I'm curious as to see what they give us tonight, and to see if a couple of those were just mistakes, or if that's how their base alignment is and how they do things.
Now, one thing I didn't know, the guys that play up front, there are a couple of them that are about 6'2". So once you get in the passing downs, I imagine the hope is that they can knock a pass down and, incomplete and go on to the next play. But not really big at all up front. So you have opportunities to run right at them with the aforementioned running backs, and also your quarterback can run it as well. Definitely have a size advantage on the outside, size and speed, because those guys that play corner, and they're not really tall. I think I saw 5'10" and 5'8", not really all that tall, but also speed advantage, which we're going to have the speed advantage on most teams. So there's the opportunity to maybe hit some big plays downfield, wouldn't you think?
Yes, sir. Yeah. The one thing that they do, and undersized and not out athletic in people, they make sure that they stay over the top. So they will be over the top. So we may take some shots, but you may also see us just line up and throw something quick and let our athletes be athletes, and hope that their guys can come tackle our guys.
Right. I remember that y'all had like some quick screens and a bubble screen to Benny that just wasn't caught that particular play. That very well could work tonight. And, with Benny's speed, could take it a long way. And then 6 points on the board. So, all that being said, it has the makings of a big win. But like we mentioned earlier, can't underestimate this team at all. And hopefully your team took that message to heart during this week, because you're shooting for your third consecutive win, all in district play. They'll definitely push you to closer to a playoff berth. So with that being said, do you have anything that you'd like to say to Warrior Nation to get the crowd out there? I know it's Thursday. It's fall break, but what else are you going to do on a Thursday night? Come out and watch some Idabel Warrior football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's Thursday night. I know guys might have to go to work Friday morning early, but hey, our kids are excited about this opportunity tonight to go out and compete. We would love to have the stands packed full for tonight, and just to make sure that they're getting all the support that they need and they can hear. The band will be there in full effect. I know that they'll be loud and they'll be blaring their tunes, and it'll be a good environment for us tonight. Just show up and show out for our kids, and hopefully we take care of business.
Always a good environment at Warrior Nation Stadium. You know what? Stick around for a minute. We're going to pause this for a moment, and we're going to talk about the games that are happening in district. So we'll return real quick. 96.7 KBEL. We still got Coach Kincaid here in the studio. We're going to go over these district games. There's some intriguing matchups tonight as we, week 7 of the season, and the playoff picture is starting to come into focus. So let's talk about these games real quick before we get you out of here. So first one I have listed, Mojo at Lincoln Christian. Always a bad time to play Lincoln Christian, but really bad timing for the Mojo Bulldogs. Hopefully that quarterback, Tegan Collins, is close to 100%. But I'm not sure if it's really going to matter, especially playing in Tulsa at that stadium. They've been able to just drill everybody. I don't think they've given up a point in district play all season.
No, sir, they haven't. I think it's 173-0, points for, points against, something like that. Tegan Collins is dealing with turf toe, actually, so that's something that's not going to go away. He'll be dealing with that all year. I anticipate he'll probably play through it until basketball and track season. I don't know if he'll ever get that fixed. I think it requires surgery to truly get that fixed or changed, or a lot of rest, for him, which he doesn't do a lot of. But, that's an interesting game. Mojo at Lincoln. Mojo could be able to put up some points there tonight, but Lincoln Christian is Lincoln Christian. So
that's all there is to say about that. Next, we got Holland Hall at Shakota. Shakota definitely needs this win at home against the Dutch. I personally don't see it happening. I'm not sure if that running back, I think his name,
Jaden Allen.
Yeah, I didn't see him in action last week against Stigler, so we got. Having him would definitely help. I know they have the firepower offensively to score some against Holland Hall, but they need every weapon they can get to hang with Holland Hall tonight. Wouldn't you think?
Absolutely, yeah. If zero plays from Shakota, they're running back. They'll have a chance to go win this game at home versus Holland Hall. Holland coming down to Shakota, it'll be an interesting matchup. Hopefully Shakota can pull that one out for us, just district standing wise. But I think Holland's offense is too potent for him, and it's gonna be a tough night for Shakota.
I agree. And then finally we got Stigler at Eufaula. The winner of this game can find themselves in fourth place in district play. Can Stigler build off the momentum from beating Shakota last week?
That's probably the most intriguing matchup of them all, outside of the Shakota and Holland, playoff implications there in that one. But this one, just like you said, has the same implications. I believe they're both 1 and 2 in district play.
Yes.
So this will be the swing game for them that one of them needs. I would like for Stigler to go win this one. I think they're a very disciplined team. Eufaula's always a disciplined team also. I think Stigler's quarterback gives them a dual threat ability that I think they can go take this one at Eufaula. It'll be good for Eufaula to drop this one and come into us losing a couple in a row right there. I think that'll be good. That'll be good for us. That'll be bad for them, but good for us. And it'll be good for Stigler. Coach Eastham over there has done a good job with those guys. I'm really excited for what they've been doing over there at Stigler.
Yeah, definitely rooting for you up there tonight in Stigler. Go Panthers and all that good stuff. So, moving over to the area games. Got a pretty good one in Hugo. The Kiefer Trojans come down to Hugo, making the trip south to Gene Nesbitt Stadium to take on the Hugo Buffaloes. They desperately need to win to stay in the district playoff race in 2A1. Have you had a chance to get in touch with anybody from Hugo, or have you kept track by any means? I know they went up to Oakmogie and blew them out last week, but they definitely need this one at home.
Yeah, I talked to Coach Shear yesterday, actually, or Coach Shire, I believe. Talked to him yesterday, and we were just mapping out some future middle school JV games for the future. But I think that they have a good chance to go and beat Kiefer. Kiefer's always a good football team. I believe they may be ranked top 10 in 2A1. And so this will be a big win for Hugo at home to take advantage of and maybe steal one to go increase their playoff chances.
Okay, up next we got Valiant, undefeated. They are making their way up to Atoka to take on the Wampus Cats. I think they stay undefeated, and Atoka is not having the greatest of seasons. They'll handle business, but once again, you can't overlook your opponent. So hopefully Coach Jones has that team ready to rock, and definitely good luck, Valiant. They've got a pretty nice run of it. I think the two games that will be really interesting when they play Wilburton and then Vian toward the end. I think those are back-to-back, right?
Yes, sir. Wilburton and Vian. I think Vian is week 10 game, week 9 or 10 for them.
I think 10, and then Wilburton may be week 9, and the Vian game is in Valiant. So that should be a packed house in Valiant. And then up next, we got Broken Bow making the trip north again. This time they're going to Hilldale, just outside of Muskogee. Looking to continue their offensive onslaught. They put up 70 last week at Stillwell on their updated and revamped field on their turf and everything. I kind of watched some of that game over the weekend. It's a nice place to play at. But another thing for Broken Bow, they will get Scott Baker back. So, another weapon they'll have for Graydon Howe to throw it to, and, another weapon for defense. So that's good for the Savages to get Scott Baker back. Your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, that'll be a good game right there. Hilldale's no slouch whatsoever for them. Broken Bow and us, we both play in probably the toughest districts in 3A and 4A respectfully. I think that they have a chance to go up there and steal this game, and go take this game from Hilldale. Hopefully they do, so that they can be playing football, and all of McCurtain counties are going to be playing playoff football. Hopefully, But I want the Savages to go win this one at Hilldale to get them rolling into, I believe, Ada and Poto.
Yep. And then finally, we got Wilburton making the trip down to Push County. They will be taking on Antlers. Antlers got a win last week. They beat Morris, I want to say 41-6. So a win for Antlers would get them back in the playoff race. But Wilburton is having one of their better seasons in recent years. A few years ago when we were in 2A, we used to play them, and we'd handle them. But there is a bit of a tradition up in Wilburton, and they are doing really well so far. So any thoughts on that game before we get you out of here?
Yeah, hopefully Antlers can steal that one versus Wilburton. I know Wilburton, like you said, is having a good year, but I think Coach White and Coach Brooks over there at Antlers, they'll have a good game plan going in, and they should take care of business tonight.
All right, folks, we're going to get Coach Kincaid out of here. You'll hear this interview again early in the 6 o'clock hour. It'll lead you right into pregame live from Warrior Nation Stadium, and it'll be myself, Aaron Empson, and Lonnie Watson. So if you're not going to be able to make it to the game, or, hey, just cut your radio on as you're driving to the stadium, you'll hear all of this. And